Welcome to the ultimate breakdown of one of the most talked about moments on daytime television, where Joy Behar found herself on the receiving end of a clapback so sharp it left the audience gasping and social media buzzing for days. The title says it all. Joy Behar humiliated after Jennifer Garner's brutal live clapback. This wasn't just any interview, it was a live segment on The View where Jennifer Garner, the beloved actress known for her roles in films like 13 Going on 30 and Dallas Buyers Club, was invited to promote her latest project. Joy Behar, the outspoken co-host with a reputation for her blunt commentary, decided to steer the conversation into personal territory, questioning Jennifer's parenting choices in a way that many viewed as unnecessarily aggressive. Jennifer, usually the picture of grace and poise, didn't hold back. Her response was swift, articulate, and packed with the kind of wit that turned the tables instantly. The studio audience erupted in applause, and Joy's face told the story of someone who realized they had poked the wrong bear. This moment has since gone viral, with clips amassing millions of views across platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and X. But to truly understand the humiliation, we need to set the stage properly. The View has always been a platform for heated discussions, but this exchange crossed into legendary territory. Jennifer Garner, a mother of 3, has been open about her co-parenting with ex-husband Ben Affleck, but Joy's line of questioning implied judgment on Jennifer's ability to balance Hollywood stardom with motherhood. The audience could feel the tension building as Joy pressed on, seemingly unaware of the storm brewing. Jennifer's eyes narrowed slightly, a subtle sign that she was about to defend herself with precision. What followed was a masterclass in handling confrontation with class and clarity. The internet exploded with memes, reaction videos, and think pieces analyzing every word. Fans of Jennifer praised her for standing her ground, while some defended Joy, claiming she was just doing her job as a provocative host. Regardless of where you stand, this was television gold. The build-up to the clapback was slow and deliberate, with Joy listing off perceived flaws in Jennifer's public persona. She mentioned tabloid stories, paparazzi photos of Jennifer looking exhausted, and even brought up her children's school choices. It was clear Joy was trying to elicit a dramatic response, but she underestimated Jennifer's composure. When Jennifer finally spoke, her voice was steady, her words measured. She didn't raise her voice or resort to insults. Instead, she dismantled Joy's arguments with logic and personal truth. The humiliation for Joy came not from Jennifer screaming or storming off, but from the quiet power of being outmatched in a debate she started. The other co-hosts tried to interject, but the damage was done. Social media users pointed out Joy's flushed cheeks and forced laughter as evidence of her embarrassment. This wasn't just a win for Jennifer, it was a reminder that even seasoned television personalities can be caught off guard. The clip has been dissected frame by frame, with body language experts weighing in on Joy's defensive posture and Jennifer's confident demeanor. As we dive deeper into this script, we'll explore the exact words exchanged, the context of the interview, and the aftermath that solidified this as a pop culture moment. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the details will leave you replaying the scene in your head. Let's rewind to the moments leading up to the infamous exchange, because context is everything in understanding why Jennifer Garner's clapback hit so hard and why Joy Behar ended up humiliated on national television. The segment began innocently enough, with the co-hosts gushing over Jennifer's latest role in a family-friendly comedy that showcased her trademark charm and relatability. Jennifer was all smiles, sharing behind-the-scenes stories and expressing gratitude for her career. The audience was eating it up, and the energy in the room was positive. That's when Joy Behar, known for her no-filter approach, decided to pivot the conversation. She started with what seemed like a light-hearted question about how Jennifer manages to juggle acting, producing, and being a hands-on mom. But the tone quickly shifted. Joy referenced a recent tabloid headline that speculated about Jennifer's parenting style, suggesting that her busy schedule might be negatively impacting her kids. The studio fell silent for a split second, a telltale sign that Joy had crossed a line. Jennifer's smile faded slightly, but she maintained her composure, nodding as if acknowledging the question. Joy, perhaps sensing an opportunity to stir the pot, doubled down. She brought up specific instances, like Jennifer being spotted at a premiere while her children were reportedly at home with a nanny. The implication was clear. Joy was questioning whether Jennifer was prioritizing fame over family. The other co-hosts shifted uncomfortably in their seats, with Whoopi Goldberg attempting to steer the conversation back to safer ground. But Joy was on a roll. She even quipped about how Hollywood stars often preach about balance but fail to practice it. The audience murmured, some in agreement, others in disbelief at the audacity. Jennifer listened intently, her hands folded in her lap, giving Joy enough rope to hang herself with. This is where the brilliance of Jennifer's response begins to take shape. She didn't interrupt or deflect, she let Joy finish her entire rant. By doing so, she controlled the narrative, allowing Joy's words to expose her own bias. When Jennifer finally spoke, she began by thanking Joy for her concern, a sarcastic touch that didn't go unnoticed. Then, she launched into a detailed rebuttal, pointing out the double standards faced by working mothers in all industries, not just Hollywood. She shared personal anecdotes about her children's involvement in her career, how they visit sets and understand her passion. Joy tried to interject, but Jennifer politely but firmly continued, her voice gaining strength with each sentence. The audience began to clap, sensing a shift in power. Joy's attempts to regain control fell flat, her jokes landing with awkward silence. The humiliation was palpable as Jennifer wrapped up her response with a question of her own. Joy, have you ever considered how your words might affect someone who's just trying to do their best? The studio erupted, and Joy was left stammering. This wasn't just a clapback, it was a public education on respect and empathy. The producers cut to commercial soon after, but the damage was done. Online, the clip spread like wildfire, with hashtags like #JenniferGarnerClapback trending worldwide. Commentators praised Jennifer for her eloquence, while Joy's fans accused her of being set up. But the consensus was clear. Jennifer won the exchange decisively. As we continue, we'll analyze the verbatim transcript of the conversation, breaking down the key phrases that sealed Joy's fate. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter, the exact words that turned Joy Behar's line of questioning into a moment of televised humiliation, courtesy of Jennifer Garner's brutal live clapback. The transcript has been memorized by fans and quoted endlessly online, so let's relive it play by play. Joy started with, "Jennifer, you're always so put together on screen, but let's be real, how do you manage being a mom when you're constantly in the spotlight? Don't your kids suffer?" The audience gasped audibly, and Jennifer took a deep breath before responding. "Joy, first of all, thank you for your concern, it's touching," Jennifer said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. The sarcasm was subtle but effective, setting the tone for what was to come. She continued, "My children are my priority, always. They're happy, healthy, and involved in my life in ways that work for our family. But let me ask you this, why is it that when a man succeeds in his career, he's celebrated, but when a woman does, she's questioned about her parenting?" The studio audience cheered loudly, drowning out Joy's attempt to respond. Jennifer pressed on, "I've read the tabloids too, Joy. They paint pictures that aren't always accurate. My kids have nannies when I'm working 16-hour days, just like any working parent might have help. But I'm there for the school plays, the bedtime stories, the important moments. What about you? Do you judge every working mom this way, or just the ones on TV?" Joy laughed nervously, trying to play it off as a joke, saying, "Oh, come on, I'm just asking the tough questions." But the damage was done. Jennifer's eyes locked onto Joy's as she delivered the knockout blow. "Tough questions are fine, Joy, but judgmental ones disguised as concern? That's not tough, that's unfair. My children are proud of me, and I'm proud of them. Maybe instead of speculating, you could celebrate women who are breaking barriers instead of tearing them down." The applause was thunderous, with some audience members standing. Joy's face turned red, and she fumbled with her cue cards, clearly rattled. The other co-hosts jumped in to fill the awkward silence, praising Jennifer's passion and quickly moving to a commercial break. But the internet had already captured the moment. Within hours, the clip was everywhere, with slow-motion replays of Joy's uncomfortable expressions and Jennifer's confident delivery. Reaction channels dissected every nuance, From Jennifer's use of inclusive language to Joy's defensive body language, memes flooded social media, with captions like "When you mess with Jen Garner and regret it instantly." Jennifer's fans rallied behind her, sharing stories of their own struggles as working parents. Even celebrities weighed in, with actresses like Reese Witherspoon tweeting support. Joy, on the other hand, faced a wave of criticism for her insensitivity. Some defended her, saying The View thrives on controversy, but the majority agreed that she had gone too far. This exchange highlighted the ongoing conversation about gender expectations and media scrutiny. Jennifer didn't just defend herself, she elevated the discussion to a broader societal issue. The humiliation for Joy stemmed from being called out so elegantly that she had no comeback. As the show returned from break, Joy tried to smooth things over with a half-hearted apology, but it rang hollow. Jennifer accepted it graciously, but the power dynamic had shifted permanently. This script will now explore the immediate aftermath, including the social media firestorm and how it affected both women's public images. 1,500 characters. The aftermath of Jennifer Garner's brutal live clapback was nothing short of a cultural phenomenon, leaving Joy Behar humiliated and scrambling to regain her footing, while Jennifer emerged as a hero to many. As soon as the episode aired, social media platforms lit up with reactions. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with the clip, edited with dramatic music, slow-motion effects, and text overlays highlighting Jennifer's best lines. The hashtag #TeamJennifer trended globally, amassing over 1 million posts within 24 hours. Fans created fan cams, stitching together Jennifer's most empowering moments from her career with the clapback as the climax. Meanwhile, Joy Behar became the subject of countless memes, with her stunned expression photoshopped onto famous scenes of defeat. Late-night hosts like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert dedicated segments to the exchange, replaying it with commentary that leaned heavily in Jennifer's favor. The View's official YouTube channel saw a surge in views, with the episode becoming one of their most watched ever. Behind the scenes, reports emerged that the producers were thrilled with the buzz, as controversy drives ratings. However, Joy reportedly took the criticism personally, addressing it indirectly on the next episode by saying, "We ask tough questions here, that's our job." But the audience wasn't buying it, with live reactions showing boos and eye rolls. Jennifer, ever the class act, didn't gloat. In subsequent interviews, she focused on her project, only briefly acknowledging the incident by saying, "I stand by what I said." We all deserve respect. This restraint only endeared her more to the public. Brands associated with Jennifer saw a boost, with her children's book series and organic food company reporting increased sales. Joy, conversely, faced calls for an apology from women's groups who saw her comments as perpetuating harmful stereotypes. The humiliation extended beyond the studio when paparazzi caught Joy looking somber outside her home, fueling speculation about her emotional state. Online forums like Reddit had threads dedicated to analyzing the psychology of the clapback, with users praising Jennifer's emotional intelligence. Some pointed out that Joy's style, while entertaining, often borders on bullying, and this was the moment it backfired spectacularly. Jennifer's children even got involved indirectly, with sources saying they thought their mom was cool for standing up for herself. The media coverage was extensive, with outlets like TMZ, People, and the New York Times weighing in. Conservative commentators defended Joy's right to ask probing questions, while progressive voices celebrated Jennifer's feminism. The divide showcased how polarized public opinion can be, but the viral metrics didn't lie. Jennifer was the clear winner. As days turned into weeks, the story evolved. Joy attempted damage control by inviting other celebrity moms to discuss work-life balance, but the conversations paled in comparison. Jennifer's clapback inspired think pieces on the evolution of daytime TV and the power of celebrity pushback. This script will now delve into the long-term impacts on both women's careers and the broader implications for talk show dynamics. The humiliation for Joy served as a cautionary tale. Even veterans can be humbled. Jennifer, on the other hand, solidified her status as a relatable icon. The internet kept the moment alive with remixes and parodies, ensuring it would be remembered for years. Examining the long-term repercussions of this explosive moment reveals how Jennifer Garner's clapback not only humiliated Joy Behar in the moment but also reshaped their public personas and influenced the landscape of daytime television. For Joy, the incident became a defining low point in her decades-long career. While she's no stranger to controversy, this was different. The public backlash was swift and sustained. Viewer polls conducted by entertainment sites showed a significant portion blaming Joy for escalating the interview unnecessarily. Her social media mentions spiked, but not in a positive way, with many users tagging her in critical posts. The views ratings dipped slightly in the following weeks, with some attributing it to alienated viewers who felt Joy's style had become too abrasive. Producers reportedly had meetings about toning down confrontational segments, fearing more walkouts or clapbacks. Joy issued a more formal apology during a later episode, admitting she could have phrased her questions better, but it came across as scripted and insincere to many. Her co-hosts rallied around her on air, but off-camera tensions were rumored. Jennifer Garner, conversely, experienced a career renaissance. The clapback humanized her, showing a fiercer side beneath her girl-next-door image. Casting directors took note, and she landed roles that required more edge. Her social media following grew by hundreds of thousands, with fans praising her authenticity. She used the platform to advocate for working parents, partnering with organizations supporting women in the workforce. The incident also boosted her producing credits, as networks saw her as a draw for controversial yet ratings-friendly content. Broader implications emerged for talk shows. Hosts began treading more carefully with personal questions, aware that guests are savvier and less tolerant of ambush tactics. The View introduced new guidelines for guest interactions, emphasizing respect. This shift reflected changing audience expectations in the age of social media accountability. Jennifer's response was studied in media classes as an example of effective communication under pressure. Joy's humiliation served as a case study in the risks of provocative hosting. Public figures across industries referenced the moment in their own defenses against intrusive questioning. The story even inspired a satirical sketch on Saturday Night Live, with a spot-on impersonation of Joy's flustered reaction. Jennifer declined to comment on the parody, maintaining her dignified silence. Months later, at award shows, presenters made subtle nods to the clapback, eliciting laughs from the crowd. Joy's attempts to joke about it fell flat, reinforcing her embarrassment. The viral nature ensured longevity, with anniversary posts keeping it relevant. This script now turns to the lessons learned and how this moment fits into the larger narrative of celebrity-media relations. Joy's career didn't end, but her approach softened noticeably. Jennifer, empowered by the experience, became more selective with interviews, choosing platforms that aligned with her values. The humiliation transformed into a catalyst for change, proving that one live moment can have ripple effects far beyond the studio walls. In conclusion, the title Joy Behar Humiliated after Jennifer Garner's brutal live clapback encapsulates a pivotal moment that transcended entertainment to spark meaningful dialogue about respect, gender roles, and media responsibility. Jennifer Garner's poised yet powerful response not only defended her personal life but also challenged the status quo of invasive interviewing. Joy Behar's humiliation was self-inflicted, born from overconfidence and underestimation of her guest. The exchange highlighted the evolution of celebrity agency in an era where stars can push back in real time and reach millions instantly. Lessons abound. For hosts, empathy trumps provocation. For guests, preparation and authenticity are key. The viral aftermath amplified these takeaways, influencing how talk shows operate and how audiences engage. Jennifer emerged stronger, her brand enhanced by vulnerability and strength. Joy, while resilient, carries the scar of this misstep. Ultimately, this was more than TV drama. It was a cultural touchstone reminding us that words have weight, especially on a public stage. As we reflect, the clip remains a go-to example of grace under fire. Future generations of viewers will revisit it, drawing inspiration from Jennifer's words and caution from Joy's folly. The story's endurance speaks to its universality. Everyone faces judgment, but not everyone handles it with such finesse. Thank you for joining this deep dive into one of television's most memorable clapbacks. Beyond the immediate fallout and long-term career shifts, the Joy Behar-Jennifer Garner clash ignited a firestorm of academic and cultural analysis that continues to ripple through media studies and feminist discourse even years later. Scholars at universities like USC and NU began incorporating the clip into syllabi for courses on gender, communication, and celebrity culture. One prominent paper published in the Journal of Media Psychology dissected Jennifer's use of rhetorical redirection and how she reframed Joy's attack as a systemic issue rather than a personal failing. The study praised her deployment of the yes and technique borrowed from improv comedy, acknowledging Joy's premise before pivoting to a broader truth. Meanwhile, Joy's defensive posture crossed arms, averted Gaza was cited in body language textbooks as a classic example of cognitive dissonance under public scrutiny. Feminist theorists hailed Jennifer as a modern archetype of the working mother warrior, comparing her to historical figures like Shirley Chisholm who weaponized civility against aggression. Conservative pundits, however, framed Joy as a victim of cancel culture, arguing that her decades of provocative commentary were being unfairly judged by a single misstep. This polarization fueled cable news debates, with panels reenacting the exchange using actors to test audience reactions. Surprisingly, focus groups showed that even Joy's traditional demographic of women over 50 largely sided with Jennifer, citing exhaustion with manufactured controversy. The incident also birthed a niche cottage industry. Life coaches offering Garner-style clapback workshops for professional women facing workplace microaggressions. These seminars used the transcript as a script, teaching participants to maintain composure while delivering surgical takedowns. One viral TikTok series by a former View intern claimed to reveal secret producer notes from the day, alleging that Joy had been explicitly warned by ABC Legal to avoid parenting questions due to Jennifer's known sensitivity. Though unverified, the rumor gained traction, further damaging Joy's reputation as a rogue operator. Jennifer, ever private, declined all requests to monetize the moment and no podcasts, no tell-all book. Instead, she quietly donated proceeds from a limited edition Yes and t-shirt, sold through her Once Upon a Farm brand, to working mothers' child care initiatives. The shirt sold out in 47 minutes, crashing the website and raising $1.2 million. This act of turning pain into philanthropy cemented her sainthood in public perception. Meanwhile, Joy's attempts at image rehabilitation faltered. A planned comedy special titled Still Standing was shelved after test audiences laughed at the wrong moments. Specifically, whenever Joy referenced tough questions. The humiliation metastasized into a broader reckoning about aging in television, with trade publications questioning whether 80-something hosts could relate to millennial guests. This script now examines how the moment infiltrated unexpected corners of culture, from corporate HR trainings to international diplomacy simulations where Jennifer's response was used to teach conflict de-escalation. The clapback became a Rorschach test. What you saw in it revealed more about your own biases than the women involved.